everyone, this is Ting and welcome to my channel Halcyon Straits, where I explore my hobbies. This past weekend I was able to go to my very first in-person doll convention since getting my first BJD in late 2019. I live in the Austin, Texas area, and the city hosts an annual doll convention there for BJDs called BJDC Texas. And I was super excited to be able to go for the first time given the state of the world, but I didn't get a chance to meet any collectors before then, in person, so I thought this would be a fun event for me to attend. Getting there was a bit of a challenge, mainly because in Texas, you have to have a car to drive everywhere you go, but I hate driving downtown. It's 45 minutes, and then you gotta find parking, and on top of that, parking is really expensive. I think I talked with one convention goer, and it was like $42. So I made the decision to actually take the Metro Rail. So Texas doesn't have great public transit. Austin's is okay. I'm just glad I was able to take it, but it still took me much longer than I would have liked. Double the time, actually. It took me an hour and a half to actually get there, and once I got there, I had to walk 7 blocks north. But I didn't have to get on I-35, and as any Austinite knows, not having to drive on I-35 is a good day. So the 2 dolls that I decided to bring with me are these two. Yes, I brought 2 dolls. My Raccoon doll Jean on the Super Ballerina body, Gemma, and then my Black Cherry doll Xiaoyu on the Dollstown 7 Saffron. I would not recommend lugging 2 dolls around the Texas heat, but I would do it again. It was so much fun to actually go to the convention. BJDC Texas theme this year is A Midsummer Night's Dream, which I think is a Shakespearean play. I never actually read it. It wasn't something that we covered in high school or any of my college courses, but all of the marketing and advertising and a quick Google image search seemed to be a lot of fairies and magical motifs. So that's kind of what I expected when I went, and the sales floor definitely reflected a lot of that in the booths that were there. I spent a good amount of time just walking around before deciding to buy anything, and it was just lovely to chat with the vendors and hear about how the convention has been going for them, and everyone I talked to seemed to have been making decent sales, so I was very excited for that. About half of the people or half of the tables there seemed to be folks selling their own personal collection of items that they were just reselling from other companies, and then the other half were vendors who actually made the products and were selling them as their business. And those types of booths were the ones that I was more interested in, because I want to support the artists in the hobby, because I'm always amazed by their creativity and all the amazing things that they're able to produce. I ended up going and purchasing things from 3 shops, and I will include links in the description of the shops that I went to, and if I had any other business cards from any of the other shops that I visited. But the first one that I went to was called OneThyrd. They were actually the one shop that I wanted to go to, mainly because Roz, the owner, is a native Texan, and I think she is based in the Austin area, or at least in the main Texas area, and it seemed that we had a lot of things in common that we got to talk through about how much Austin had changed in the past 20 years, and it was just a really great conversation. But the types of products that she makes are these resin props, and I got several, including this coffee cup, which has this really pretty shine and sheen to it. And if you see that it's so thin and the craftsmanship is so pretty, I like it a lot because I do have coffee mugs that I have from either American Girls or from the Welly Wishers, but they're much thicker because they're made for kids and don't quite scale correctly, but seeing how thin and delicate these coffee cups are makes it, I think, much more believable in a photo shoot. So among the other things that I got was food, and here are some of the chocolate tarts that have I think cherries on top, and if you look at the glaze, it's just like really adorable. I can't wait to take photos with these little treats. In addition to that, continuing with the bakery theme, I got this biscotti that seems to be covered in some sort of like cream glaze or something. Super cute, very excited to have these. And while I wasn't expecting it, all of them came on, or both of those came on these little doll-sized doilies that are so cute. Very delicate and intricate. I don't know if they have some sort of like laser cutter for the paper, but very cute. And then the final item that I got was this wrap. I actually put it in Gemma's hand to see like, oh, is this something that's believable as a wrap? And I was glad that I got it because if you look at all of the details in there, it's so intricate. You can see lettuce and some sort of protein. It could be chicken or tofu, and then some specks of red for like radishes or tomatoes or onions, and then the cream sauce. Anyway, I was very excited to get this piece from OneThyrd, spelled with a Y. They have an Etsy shop with their other wares, so if you aren't able to make it to a convention, you can still get it from there. And then the next shop that I ended up purchasing something from, I hadn't planned on purchasing at all because it's called Traveler in Thyme. It's a play on words. Thyme is the way that it's spelled is like the herb, but they specialize, at least for this round, in like Renaissance type clothing, which I think is gorgeous, but my dolls live in a modern universe, so at most they could cosplay as Renaissance fair attendees, but that's not something that I've ever done myself, so it wasn't something that I was interested in. But Marsha Cash, the owner, is just a delight to speak with. She had such an elaborate and opulent display. She brought, I think, part of her castle walls from her studio, which I think was like, she mentioned it was like 20 feet or something. 1/4 scale dolls, 1/4 scale castle that she has all of her dolls live in. I would have loved to visit that kind of location, but she brought a few walls. She had several Ipple House dolls, which was great because I got to compare Saffron against the JID and the FID bodies, because I've been kind of wanting to get some of those clothing, but I wasn't sure if it would fit. And sure enough, I think she might be able to get away with JID clothing. FID is far more slimmer and mature, and truly like a mature 1/4 scale doll. So it's not something that it would be a case-by-case basis whether that worked or not. But I wasn't planning on buying anything, but just talking to Marsha, she decided to like plop on this hat on Gemma and was like, oh, that's her color. And I was just like, it actually is. It looks great. So I ended up purchasing this cloche hat from her, which I love. It looks good on, I think, all of my dolls. And the knitting, I don't know if it's like is it a knit or is it a crochet? I think it's a crochet, and it's just like gorgeous, and I really like it. I also bought this kind of like poet shirt. I don't know. It doesn't have an opening, but it's a collared white shirt, which I thought would be fun to pair with some of the other pieces that I have for maybe some of the girls, or just when they're like wanting to be fancy or have like something to drape over their shoulder. So that one is from Traveler in Time with Marsha Cash. And then the last location that I went to, or that I purchased from, was Edith's Editions Closet, I think is the full name of her shop. But she had just a lot of beautifully sewn like dresses, and I saw that there was a bunch of like MSD dresses, and most of them were too small, but one of them I thought might fit. And the thing with, Saffron, I'm glad I brought her, is that she's slightly bigger than either Mini Super Dolphy or Mini Dolphy Dream. So it's hit or miss whether MSD will fit her. But that's one of the benefits of, I think, having the opportunity to go to a convention versus having to just buy things online. You could actually try on the clothes, and Edith actually encouraged me to try this dress on her. And once I put it on Saffron, like, look how sweet she looks. I couldn't bear to take it off, so I just bought it straight off the rack and was like, I'm wearing this home with her. It also came with these super cute little bloomers. I haven't decided if I'm going to put them on her, but they're there, and the doll scale, or the print, was what drew me in, with these like tiny cute little hearts. And she even gave me some tips on how I might be able to further style the dress. She has just like, oh, you could like, weave some dark wine ribbon in here or something to just give it more of a pop of color. So that to me was like great. It was just really nice talking with all of the vendors, and just like, just learning about, their experience and like how they've been doing. And it seems that they've been able to sell a lot of great things, because all of the vendors that I talked to said that they've done a pretty good amount. I think after going around maybe 4 or 5 times, like hemming and hawing on whether I wanted to get anything else, I finally called it a day. But one thing that was a delight was that I got to meet Cysalius. I don't know how to pronounce their name, but if you've ever seen the Polaris BJD on Thingiverse, she is the creator of that, and I think she had moved to Texas within the last 2 years or so, and drove down to the Austin area and we ended up meeting up. And it was just really nice to talk with a doll collector, and we've had a few exchanges on Instagram before. And she brought Link, which is I think it's one of her loot stalls, and he was such a attraction for a lot of people at the convention. And she brought him in this pet carrier that has like a clear dome, and I thought that was super smart. And I think if I attend conventions in the future, is something that I would definitely consider getting before heading out there. But he had the Breath of the Wild tunic, and then the Sheikah slate. It was so well done, and I got to get a picture of these two with him. So that was fun, and we actually ended up getting lunch afterwards. So yay for Dolly friends. So after attending a doll convention for the first time as a local, I think one thing that, even though I had a great time, some things that I think after attending is that attending or staying at the hotel that the convention is being held is probably the best experience, because I brought, these 2 dolls, and then I had a backpack full of stuff that I wanted to make sure that I had so that I kept myself entertained on the trip there. And I ended up having to make sure I minded all of the things that I had brought, and it didn't allow me to have the freedom to mingle with the other doll collectors as much. So I didn't really get to meet anyone really outside of Cysalius and some of the vendors. And then BJDC Texas, the open to public sales floor is the last day of the event, and there is a day before where the attendees get first shot at all of the products, and I'm sure a lot of things sold out before I had a chance to even see them. So, that was a kind of a missed opportunity. But highly recommend going to a doll convention if that's something that you're interested in. And I am already looking at what my opportunities are for next year to attend a doll convention. So I'm thinking that for sure I would love to attend Resin Rose, which is, I think they announced their dates. I think it's like mid-August, and it's going to be in the same location in Oregon. And the theme for next year is Day at the Cafe, which is right up my alley, if not evidenced by the things that I bought from the OneThyrd store. I really like the coffee cafe motif, so I think I'll have a lot of fun with that. And then the other one that I'm considering is the East Coast Doll Convention. I think it's going to be in April at Providence, Rhode Island. There isn't that much in terms of details. The website's not even up yet, but today they did announce that Meek's doll is going to be there, and there might be an exclusive convention doll. And if that's the case, I definitely have to make it out there because I love my Meek's doll, and I would love to meet Audrey in person. So I think that's something that I'll have to definitely consider. It's just exciting, I think, to think about meeting more doll collectors because, I started the hobby right at the end of the before times, and then just have been isolated for so long. And of course, I would consider going to BJDC Texas again. It depends on when the timing is, because like this year, I think it was back to back in terms of weekends with Resin Rose, and if I really had wanted to attend Resin Rose, I don't know if I could do 2 consecutive doll weekends, doll convention weekends. So it'll really depend on, I think, timing wise. Hopefully they're spaced out far enough apart that it's something that I can end up attending all 3. But if you are going to be attending any of these conventions next year, I would love for us to have the chance to meet. I'd love to meet other doll collectors. I am not the most social person, but here's me putting myself out there. Hopefully that's something that you're interested in as well, and that we get a chance to chat and learn about each other's dolls, take some pictures, and just, be in the company of like-minded people. Anyway, I think that's all that I had to share today. Hopefully you are all staying safe and have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye.